The Galactic Council's decision. Chamber buzzed with the typical arrogance of 1,000 species who had never known true desperation. Ambassador Vex of the Altarian Collective leaned forward, his crystalline features reflecting the holographic displays that showed Earth's pathetic military assets. The humans request membership in our defensive alliance, Vex announced, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of technological superiority. They offer their services as engineers and mechanics in exchange for protection from the void. Swarm. Laughter rippled through the chamber. The insectoid representative from Kepler 442 clicked his mandibles in amusement. What could these primitive creatures possibly offer us? They haven't even achieved faster-than-light travel independently. Commander John Blake stood quietly at the center of the chamber, his weathered face betraying no emotion as alien species mocked his world. Behind him, Chief Engineer Lisa Park clutched a datapad containing humanity's most advanced designs that would be considered obsolete by galactic standards. Very well, Vex declared with theatrical magnanimity. We shall grant them associate membership. As a gesture of goodwill, we will provide them with surplus materials from our latest fleet upgrade. Perhaps they can build themselves a proper patrol vessel. The surplus materials arrived at Luna Station 3 months later aboard a massive cargo hauler. Blake watched through the observation deck as container after container was dumped into the station's receiving bay. The alien crew chief, a slug-like, being called Norg, handed him a manifest written in 17 different languages. Reactor cores from decommissioned miners, Norg explained, his translation device rendering his words in monotone English. Hull plating from scrapped transports. Weapon systems deemed obsolete by Council standards. Consider yourselves fortunate. This scrap would have been atomized otherwise. Park examined the manifest with growing fascination rather than despair. John, look at this. These obsolete fusion reactors are still more advanced than anything we have. The hull plating is composed of neutronium steel alloy. And these weapon systems are considered junk by species who've never had to make do with less, Blake finished. He smiled for the first time in months. Lisa, remember what we built during the resource wars? That carrier we assembled from. 3 different ship classes and civilian freighter parts? The patchwork, she said, her eyes beginning to shine with the same light Blake had seen during humanity's darkest hour. You're thinking what I'm thinking. Signal all available personnel. Blake ordered. We're going to build something the galaxy has never seen before. The construction bay at Luna Station became a hive of activity unlike anything in human history. Engineers who had designed submarines worked alongside spacecraft technicians. Metallurgists who specialized in terrestrial alloys collaborated with xenotechnology specialists. The artificial gravity generators hummed constantly as teams worked in 3-dimensional space, welding, cutting, and assembling. Dr. Marcus Webb, the project's lead physicist, stood before a holographic display showing the emerging vessels. Specifications. The Altarian reactor cores are designed for efficiency and longevity, he explained to his team. But if we bypass their safety limiters and run them in parallel configuration, we can achieve power output levels that would make their designers weep. Is that safe? Asked Lieutenant Kate Morgan, the weapons specialist. Safe is relative, Webb replied. The Altarians built these reactors to last 10,000 years. We're building ours to win a war. The ship took shape over 18 months. Where alien designs favored smooth curves and aesthetic beauty, the human vessel bristled with angular efficiency. Multiple reactor cores were clustered in the ship's heart, their combined output channeled through power conduits that ran along the hull's exterior like mechanical veins. The neutronium steel plating was arranged in overlapping layers, creating a defensive system that could absorb punishment and redistribute impact force. But it was the weapon systems that truly showcased human ingenuity. The obsolete plasma cannons were reconfigured into a devastating array that could focus fire from multiple angles. Missile launchers designed for mining operations were modified to launch swarms of micro-warheads. Most impressive of all was the kinetic bombardment system, a railgun assembly that could launch dense tungsten projectiles at relativistic speeds. The Altarians designed their weapons to disable enemy vessels, explained Morgan as she ran final tests on the targeting systems. We designed ours to erase them from existence. The ship's maiden voyage coincided with the Void Swarm's first major incursion into Council space. The insectoid fleet emerged from hyperspace near the Proxima Centauri system, their biomechanical vessels pulsing with malevolent energy. The Council's response fleet, led by the Altarian dreadnought Eternal Harmony, moved to intercept. Blake stood on the bridge of humanity's unnamed vessel, watching the tactical display as alien ships engaged the swarm. The Council forces fought with precision and coordination, their weapons carefully calibrated to minimize collateral damage. They were losing. "Sir," reported Navigation Officer Tan Chun, "the Altarian flagship is requesting our assistance. They're designating us as support vessel designation Human Auxiliary 1. Tell them," Blake said quietly, "that the name of this ship is Defiance, and we're not here to provide support." The Defiance dropped out of hyperspace directly into the battle's center, where other vessels maneuvered gracefully around the engagement zone. The human ship carved a straight line through the swarm formation. Its weapons opened fire immediately. No warnings, no attempts at communication, just pure destructive intent. The first plasma volley vaporized 3 swarm bioships instantly. The kinetic bombardment system spoke next, its tungsten projectiles, punching through enemy vessels like paper. But it was the missile swarms that truly devastated the swarm formation. Hundreds of micro-warheads exploded in carefully calculated patterns, creating overlapping fields of destruction that no biomechanical defense could withstand. "Impossible," whispered Ambassador Vex as he watched the battle unfold from his command. "Ship, those weapons should not be capable of such destruction. They're not just using our weapons," his tactical officer reported. "They've modified everything. The power signatures suggest they're running their reactors far beyond safe operational limits." "Are they insane?" "No, sir. They're desperate. And desperation makes them dangerous." The battle lasted 47 minutes. When it ended, the Void Swarm fleet was completely annihilated. The Council forces had suffered minor casualties. The Defiance had not received a single hit, not because the enemy hadn't tried, but because they had been too busy dying to aim properly. In the aftermath, as rescue shuttles moved between damaged vessels, Blake received a priority communication from the Galactic Council. The holographic projection showed not just Ambassador Vex, but the entire Council leadership. "Commander Blake," Vex began, his crystalline features somehow managing to convey both respect and unease. "The Council wishes to extend an invitation for humanity to join as full members. Your military capabilities have proven most effective." Blake looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew humans, who had taken the galaxy's cast-offs and forged them into something magnificent. "We accept your invitation," he replied. "But understand this. We're not here to follow your rules or fight your wars the way you think they should be fought. We are here to win." The communication ended, leaving the bridge in silence. Through the viewports, the debris field of the Void Swarm glittered like stars against the darkness. Somewhere among the wreckage, alien observers were undoubtedly analyzing the remains, trying to understand how primitive humans had achieved such devastating effectiveness. They would never truly understand. The galaxy's species had forgotten what it meant to fight for survival, to take whatever tools were available and transform them into instruments of victory. They had grown comfortable with their advanced technology and standardized tactics. Humanity had not. They had taken the galaxy's scrap metal and forged it into something the universe had never seen. Before, a weapon born not of superior technology, but of desperate ingenuity and the absolute refusal to accept defeat. The Defiance turned toward Earth, its mission complete. Behind it, the galaxy's balance of power had shifted forever.